close the eyes.
Yeah. Let's chant. योगेन चित्तस्य पदेन वाचां मलं शरीरस्य च वैद्यकेन योपाकरोत्तं प्रवरं मुनीनां पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि आबाहुपुरुषाकारम् शङ्खचक्रासिधारिणं सहस्रशिरसं श्वेतं प्रणमामि पतञ्जलिं प्रणमामि पतञ्जलिं प्रणमामि पतञ्जलिं हरिः
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
So, for those of you who don't know Rajhas, here is Rajhas, my husband, and we teach together in our school in Arles, Studio Yoga Arles. And I wanted him to join us today to talk about the invocation, this invocation to Patanjali that we chant at the beginning of class. Why do we chant it? What does it mean? Are we praying? And that's one thing. And I also wanted to let you guys know that Rajhas, he has a Zoom group, a Zoom gathering, Yoga Sutra, Yoga Philosophy Zoom gathering once a month. So I want him to talk a little bit about that as well. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me here. So first, let us address why we chant in the beginning of class. Though sometimes for beginners classes we don't do it. There's a reason and purpose for all of that. So why we chant? I think the answer could be manifold. One, we chant because it helps us to connect with what we are doing. And we want to go from more gross dimensions or realms into more subtle dimension and realms. So when we begin the practice, it's important to address the subtle from the very beginning. So if you think about what a chant means, so like I said, the answer could be manifold. Why we chant? So at one level, we chant because exhalation is a key factor for our brain to learn to let go. So all important actions that we do that help us to let go come through an exhalation. To let go of certain sentiments and emotions, we cry. Crying makes us to exhale. When we are tired and when we want to relax, we exhale. When we are stressed, what helps us to come out of that stressful situation is our exhalation. Even when we die, this body is released, or the spirit releases its grip on the body through the last exhalation. So exhalation somewhere plays a vital and important role in the brain learning how to release. So if I sit down and I ask you to close your eyes, sit straight in the pranayamic style, and I ask you to exhale slowly, it's a very difficult process for many people, and especially in the beginning of the class, without having a practice session, and you try to exhale slowly, it's not that easy. And yet exhalation makes an important part of letting go and arriving to where we are. So chanting Om is already elongating the exhalation. So we may not explain all this to the students, but chanting helps to elongate the exhalation and gets the brain more involved in the process of letting go, and it's more effective if the intention is there to let go. If there is an intention to let go, this letting go becomes stronger through the chants, through the exhalation.
So conscious letting go.
Yeah, so you are making that conscious effort, okay, I have to let go. And chant through that intention, and then you feel your brain releasing and being capable of becoming more attentive, alert, present and conscious. So that's, I think, the most universal reason to chant. That's one purpose. The second purpose is that, like I said, we want to go to the subtle aspects of our being in our practice. And for a human being, the physical body is the most gross aspect of our being. The more subtle aspects involve the mind, the breath. Of course, the mind includes the emotions, the breath and the being itself. All these make part of our embodiment. So when we begin, we want to make an emotional connect with our practice. It doesn't mean emotions, like we may think emotion is crying. Crying is not an emotion. Crying is the consequence of lived emotions. But emotion itself is feeling something. Sensitivity.
Allowing yourself to be sensitive.
Sensitive. And you're moved by that, and that generates an emotion. So at the more subtle aspect, we want to connect at that level where we are moved by what we are doing. We want to be moved by it. If we say, I cannot be moved by anything, I'm like a rock, then we're not really allowing ourselves, permitting ourselves to be moved by anything. But when we dispose ourselves, when we make ourselves available, which is what chanting is also, we are making ourselves available in order to be moved. So I can talk about my personal experience of what happens to me when I chant. When I chant about Patanjali, and that's what we are chanting actually, Yogena Chittasya Padena Vacham. We are talking first about the work Patanjali has done in order to help us evolve as people, as human beings. So Patanjali wrote 3 kinds of treatises, very important ones. Yoga for the Chitta, Chitta being mind, grossly speaking. Padena Vacham, he wrote a treatise called Mahabhashya on the grammar of Sanskrit, which helps to improve the speech quality and communication. And he wrote a treatise on Ayurveda, which works on cleansing the toxins in the body and maintaining good health. Maintaining good health. So, since all these three aspects are so important for the education of a human being, we remember Patanjali when we practice. Yoga for the chitta, mind. Grammar for speech and communication. And treatise on Ayurveda for healing the body and purifying, removing the toxins in the body. So we remember that first. Yogena chittasya padena vacham malam sharirasya cha vaidyakena. And then we go into saying Yopa karuttam pravaram muninam Patanjalim pranjaliranatosmi. So we are describing what Patanjali is. And then the second aspect, and that we are presenting ourselves, our heart open to Patanjali. The teacher. Patanjali is the teacher who has trained all our teachers. So we are remembering the teacher. So when I connect with Patanjali, I am also connecting with Arunji and Guruji, who for me are closest to my heart as teachers. They are the ones that come to my mind's image when I think of Guru. So I'm also remembering them when I remember Patanjali. So you are also remembering all the teachers who have taught you. So you are invoking the teacher. So what happens as a consequence? You are more honest in your practice in front of your teacher. So we want to be honest people. When we are in front of others, we want to practice with honesty. So the same honesty we want to bring if we are practicing alone. So that's why we chant. So the second part of the invocation is where that's the sort of the dhyana shloka, which is it's bringing the mind, we're giving the mind an image of Patanjali so that the mind can imagine the teacher in front.
You can meditate on that teacher.
Yeah, so the mind is given an image to meditate upon. It's not that was Patanjali exactly that form. None of that really matters. Allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to imagine. If you do allow yourself and make an emotional connect, that will change your heart. That's all that is important at that moment. So I connect with that. Abahu Purushakaram Shankha Chakrasi Dharinam Sahasra Shirasam Shvetam Pranamami Patanjalim Pranamami Patanjalim Pranamami Patanjalim. So I am connecting. That's what the invocation is. And that is why we chant. And I think we should chant more when we are alone than when we are in a group. In my experience, that chanting, it doesn't matter what state of mind I'm in, when I chant, it centers me, it makes me immediately little more honest in my practice. So that's why I chant. In front of Patanjali, in front of Guruji, in front of Arunji, I can't slack off. I have to go all the way in front of my teacher. But when I'm alone, I may become lazy. So I invoke them, I present my practice to them, and I make myself available to be moved by my practice. That's what chanting is for me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can you talk to us a little bit about your class, your philosophy group?
Yeah. So a few Sundays a year, about 8 to 10 Sundays a year.
It's once a month for 10 months.
Yeah. So about 10 Sundays a year, and the dates are all given in advance, 1 year in advance. We gather in order to speak about the Yoga Sutras, but not in an academic approach where we are trying to learn Sanskrit words. Because I personally feel that if we are touched and moved by something, then we don't have to memorize it, it just stays within us. So I want to share and impart the essence of the Yoga Sutras in everyday life and not as concepts that are in a book.
Not something we learn by heart and we know how to chant from A to Z.
I mean, you can do that, but it doesn't serve much when your child is crying and having a tantrum, or it doesn't help when you are having a quarrel with your partner. It doesn't help memorizing the sutras.
Understanding what they mean.
But understanding them will help you in those moments of ego, will help you in moments of fear, will help you in moments of dilemma, will help you in moments when you have to make a choice between just and unjust action that you may be performing, but you may be complacent to, and sometimes it's natural. When we like something, we may do something that are dishonest or not correct. Just because we like something doesn't mean it's correct. So making right choices, so the dilemma between right and wrong action, these are all our human situations. And in those human situations, an understanding, a deeper understanding of ourself, which is Swadhyaya, helps us to live in a more harmonious way. And harmony takes work. Harmony is work. It's not, oh, it's just there. It doesn't work like that in my experience. You have to work on balance and harmony, because since we live in life, life is ups and downs, and among ups and downs, to be harmonious takes some effort. So the Yoga Sutra is just giving us tools to face life with some deeper understanding of the human state, the human situation, and the human mind, which the asanas are already doing. The asanas are helping us to get these tools. The understanding of Yoga Sutras brings a deeper sense of Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya is knowing oneself. To know yourself is to really advance in yoga. So the philosophy of the Yoga Sutras is a tool to know yourself. It's a tool to know ourselves. It's not an academic approach. And nobody knows better. We are all learning. So we all go through that process together. I may be the one speaking most of the time, because that just keeps the harmony in the class. But it's for all of us to reflect together. That's what the philosophy of the Yoga Sutras is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I would love to have Rajhas back to talk to us about the 8 limbs of yoga, what the 8 limbs are, what they mean, and
Ashtanga.
Ashtanga, the Ashtanga yoga, yes, yes. And just our teachers, we decided that we kind of had our backs to them, but at the same time the back is important and the back supports us.
That way our back ribs can be in.
Because we know our teachers are behind us. So, Guruji, Rajhas Iyengar, Gita Ji, and Teresa Rowland, who was my teacher in New Jersey, Studio Yoga, New Jersey, Madison, New Jersey. So,
And we don't have the photos of the teachers who we currently study with.
Who are alive.
The reason being that they're still very much alive and we see them often. But since Guruji, Gitaji and Teresa, all of them have left their physical body, we have their photo to remember their physical form, to remind us of what they looked like.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And somehow I'll translate this, or we'll do, no, he speaks perfect French. We'll do one in French.
We'll do one in
Yes.
French.
Happy day, happy practice.